I hope you're sitting down because I have some shocking news to report. It appears that despite what we saw at the end of Infinity War, Spider-Man is in fact not dead and starring in a new movie called Far From Home. We took an extremely close look at the first trailer to track down all the hidden secrets and Easter eggs, and also to figure out why everyone was back to being alive instead of interdimensional ash flakes. Let's jump into it. Before we get into the meat of the trailer, we first gotta ask, does anyone know when this is actually taking place? After all, we did see a whole lot of these characters blow away like so much proverbial dust in the wind, and though we're all kind of naturally assuming this is post-Endgame and the Avengers have set everything right, there's nothing here that definitely confirms that's the case. This could be taking place between the events of Homecoming and Infinity War after all. Notice that in this close-up shot of Peter's passport, they haven't included the year along with the other dates. Maybe they left it off because it would let us know that this is happening earlier than we assumed, or even in an alternate timeline. Hey, we're in a post-Spider-Verse world, okay? Anything is possible. Probably the biggest story here is that the Far From Home trailer gives us our very first look at Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio, both with and without his iconic fishbowl helmet. In the comics, Mysterio is typically a supervillain who uses powers of illusion, magic, and hypnotism. In fact, he serves as one of Spider-Man's main adversaries, yet here he appears to be helping our hero. Seems likely we'll get some kind of late-in-the-game change of heart or betrayal. Note that when Mysterio uses magic to fight the water monster, we see similar arcane symbols appear as we do when Doctor Strange uses magic. Curious. Could these two become future rivals? Doc Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme. I wouldn't want to go up against that if I was just another sorcerer. Just saying. We also discover that Peter's Aunt May be striking up a new romance with Tony Stark's right-hand man, Happy Hogan. How do we feel about this? Do we ship this? Do kids still say that? Almost definitely not. We know for a fact that Pete and his friends visit at least two far-flung destinations, Venice and London. And while he's on the road, Pete meets up with the founder of the Avengers, Nick Fury, who apparently also did not really die in the snap. Plus, all of his spy skills are clearly intact. He snuck into a room full of sleeping teens, fired a dart gun, and had a full conversation with Peter Parker without waking anyone up. The trailer indicates that the villains in this new film will be the Elementals. In the comics, they're a team of 4 whose powers allow them to control natural forces. There's Hellfire, who generates flames, Hydron, who controls water, Magnum, who manipulates earth and rocks, and Zephyr, who controls air. But it's entirely possible that none of the Elementals we see in the film will actually be the original comic book versions of these characters. Many fans have speculated that these villains are actually not the original Elementals at all, but Molten Man, Hydro Man, and Sandman, who all have similar powers to the ones we see on display. Plus, Hellfire already appeared on TV's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Bolstering this theory, check out this boat floating behind Ned in Venice. It's identified as ASM-212. This could be a reference to Amazing Spider-Man issue 212, which was the first to feature, you guessed it, Hydro Man. Oh, and check out this shot of Nick Fury fighting the movie's rock monster. Who's the mysterious woman fighting alongside him? The most probable candidate is Colby Smulders, aka Maria Hill. She's credited as appearing in Far From Home after also vanishing alongside Nick in the snap. But we think this could also be Sharon Carter, aka Agent 13. We last saw her aiding Captain America in Civil War. But what if this is actually Captain Marvel back alongside Nick Fury? Maybe they just reunited post-Endgame and Fury has called in some big guns to deal with this rock creature. She has blonde hair, it's totally possible. Let's talk suits. The trailer shows off not 1, but 2 new suits. Spider-Man still has his wings from the first movie, but this suit now appears to be red and black instead of classic blue and red. Plus, we also get the debut of Spidey's new stealth suit. This all-black offering kind of resembles the Spider-Man noir look from Into the Spider-Verse and appears to be a lot more low-tech than the Tony Stark suit we've seen in the past. They may want to introduce Hydra Man and Sandman because those characters are former members of the comic book Sinister Six, the supervillain group that Sony has long dreamed of bringing to the big screen. Also featured in the Sinister Six, Vulture, who remains alive and in prison, and who we know appears in some capacity in this film. Also, check out this building under construction behind Spidey when he's swinging through New York. Now, maybe they're just cleaning up after the destruction of the Snap. We see a crane in Venice, too, backing up the theory that the whole world is being slowly rebuilt. But it looks like a new tower could be replacing the Avengers Tower, which of course we saw Tony leaving for good at the end of Homecoming. Perhaps this will one day serve as the Baxter Building, the iconic home base of a certain fantastic squad of 4 heroes. Early on, Happy tells Peter, "You're all alone," which sounds kind of odd because Happy's boss, Tony, was kind of looking out for Spider-Man until now. Could this mean that Tony Stark has stepped away from public life and ceased to be Iron Man? Or worse, could something have happened to Tony? I don't even want to think about it. Let's move on. A few more fun details we picked up. Did you hear the classic Spider-Man TV theme now performed as an orchestral score? That was awesome. In the quick shot of Peter's passport, we see that his birthday is August 10th. The character of Spider-Man first appeared in the August 1962 issue of Marvel's Amazing Fantasy, so this checks out. In the quick shot of Peter's luggage, note that it has the monogram BFP. This is most likely Ben F. Parker, aka Peter's Uncle Ben. Aww, that's sweet. That was just about everything we saw, but we don't know everything. Just most things. So if you notice something we didn't mention, hit us up in the comments and let us hear about it.